Welcome to the Chronicles of Gamers, episode 49. This is a podcast where we like to express our love-hate relationship with video games. I am, of course, your host. Efocutioner. And I'm your
co-host, gamer composer, video game maestro.
And then I am apparently the console pimp. That is something I just found out.
Yeah, console pimp. You like to pimp them consoles out on the street, selling and reselling.
I mean, it's this. If you buy
cool.
it,
just make sure you have the pimp. Just make sure you have the cane.
Oh, I'll make sure I have the cane. Anyways, folks, episode 49. We are here. We are live. We are enjoying ourselves. How are you doing, Gamer Composer?
I'm fabulous, but hungry. And there's some breakfast downstairs. I'm waiting to be happening, but I'm not, if you can tell. In my normal background, I have not moved. I've just briefly relocated into a very special area of arena.
Yes, he has, man.
Yeah. How you doing?
I am doing quite well, man.
Is it raining there?
No, it is actually a wonderful, beautiful, sunny day. I just got done coming back in, and I forgot that there's a building next to us. And that building has a gym built in, and a bunch of people were outside playing a bunch of pop music. And I was wondering what the hell was going on. I'm like, oh, wait, they're working out. I keep forgetting about that.
Oh, man.
So I have to get used to that in the mornings, where it's just like I hear random pop songs like, baby, if you know her in the backseat of your Rover. I don't know. Dude, there is like a song that they just played, and I think they played it a few times, where it's just like, it's a dude who's literally talking about him having sex with a girl in the back of his car. And I'm just like, what the fuck type of pop song is that? This is new to me, man. I don't listen to B96 out here. Well,
B96?
Commercial-free hour. Actually, that's everybody now. Anyways, so we're talking about radio and pop songs, and this is the wrong place for that. Maybe.
But there will be a tie-in to it later on.
Probably.
Oh, it will. It will. We'll get to it.
Anyways, though, let's go straight into It's All About the Hype. This is where we like to talk about any video game news, any industry news, any video game related news that you're so excited for that you can't contain your excitement about it, because it's all about the hype. Hype. And I'm gonna go first, so I'm gonna take over. I don't have the button up like Gamer Composer. I got the T-shirt though.
Game over.
I got the Hadoken T-shirt, aka Evo 2017, but that is not what I want to talk about. But I do want to give it a quick shout out. Evo KOF 14, amazing grand finals. Yo, that shit better be in 2018 too. Anyways, though, I'm gonna talk about the topic of the day, and it is called Game Critics or Game Reviews by Video Dunkey.
Yes.
Dunkey himself made a surprising video just this week. I believe it was on a Sunday, or was it a Monday that came out? I think it was a Sunday.
Yeah, I think it was a Monday.
A Monday? I think.
Well, maybe he uploaded it Sunday. No, because by the time you told me about it, it was a lot of views. It's like 2.4 million.
Yeah, okay, so it was a Sunday. But yo, that thing got 2 million views in less than 24 hours. And he was going in on Game Critics. He was mostly going in on IGN. And that shit was hilarious. So, but I'm going to go into a few key points that he was talking about. He was letting people know that IGN, their reviewers, don't seem to be consistent. I believe, and a few people have been misinterpreting the consistency, thinking that all reviews done by critics should be the same. Either they like it or they don't. Well, I forget how, because I think I went on Dan Stapleton's Twitter post and a few other IGN people, and it made it seem like Dunkey was trying to say, like, at least to me, that they were trying to say, like, Dunkey was saying that all these critics should have the same point of view, when I think Dunkey was talking about that if you don't like the game, why did you write a review that gives it, like, makes the game sound like it was amazing, and then you give it a score that makes it seem like it's amazing? And of course, I found out through Vince. What's his name? Vince
Ingenito.
Vince Ingenito. Thank you, because I didn't want to mispronounce the last name.
Well,
But
his Twitter thing is Vince Incognito, so that I can see where you probably might get confused.
yeah, because I almost said incognito.
Yeah, because it's okay.
Thank you. But anyways, he kind of talked about it on his stream. All of this will be in the show notes. I went through some knowledge and detail, folks. So if you want to find anything that was related to the Dunkey situation, it is in the show notes. But Vince was talking about how when he used to do, critique people's, or at least look over people's reviews, that sometimes the reviewer will give the score like an 8 or a 9, but the way they wrote the review makes it sound like it's a 6 or a 5. And then he would like give you he said he would give the writer an option to either rewrite it to reflect the score or lower the score to make it fit the review. And yeah, I know, I was surprised about that too. So it kind of seems like if that's what Dunkey is talking about them being consistent of like, if you don't like the game, give it a bad score, or if you do like the game, give it a good score. But that also could be misinterpreted as, like everyone should be having that one mindset and stuff like that. And then he also felt, that critics don't want to give a low score, mostly because they're afraid that the publisher won't give them another game if they talk shit about the one they made before. Now, on that one, I know personally, and I know I looked this up, and Jim Sterling even talks about it, like that certain publishers do have a blacklist. So you can't be blacklisted if you keep talking smack about certain publishers' games enough, or just a certain publisher enough. Like they can blacklist you, and that means no more games, no more anything. So that's a little scary. Dunkey also talks a little bit about how he feels that most, like IGN or GameSpot or Kotaku, they may be getting paid by the publishers to talk about those games. And on that one, I kind of looked up, and I kind of found out, like, on that one, he's wrong, but it could seem like he's also right too, because at the same time, publishers do give money to these websites to let people know about their game. But it's not more for talking or giving a good review. It's just for like, hey, we're going to give, I don't know. So we're going to mention IGN again, because, that's Dunkey's favorite #1 company. But let's say, Activision gives, IGN $100,000 to promote something new on Overwatch on their website, and then they do it, right? Or like say Overwatch never came out, and like Activision gave like IGN $100,000 promoted on their website for like a week, and IGN does it. And then as soon as they get done with that, then they review Overwatch. Like that's where I feel like I can see the confusion, because it's like, yes, this publisher did pay you to promote their game on your website. And then it's weird that you would then review the game after them paying you to promote the game on their website. So it does kind of seem like, yeah, you would give this game a good review if like the publisher paid you to promote it on their website. So I can see the confusion on that, but from what I've seen, it's two separate things, but in the way of like, if you didn't know, it would seem like, yeah, they're paying you to give a positive review. And then he also wrote that, a lot of critics try to write reviews very fast. So they try to play the game extremely quick, not really going in, digging in, giving time to marinate, to try to get, their review out first for the clickbait. That is 100% true. We all know this. You can do the research on it. It's even in the show notes. But yes, that is true. A lot of these companies do hurry up the reviews so that way they can get the clickbait. That's how they make their money on their websites. People go in, they click, they read it, or don't read it, like most gamers. But at the same time, yeah, that's 100% true. He's not wrong on that. He's not wrong on that on anything. And then the last is the last is basically the same as the first, where it's like a lot of critics, their scores don't match what they say, or what they say don't match how the score reflects. So Dunkey kind of brings that up last minute, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I did some full research on it, and then I think the last thing, and I think even though I think the only person that's really talked about the whole Dunkey subject is Forbes. Like Forbes mentioned, like, why is Dunkey going in on Games Media? And like, I guess they assumed that they were going in on Forbes too, which I had no idea. Forbes talked about video games at all. Like, seriously, Forbes made an article
because they did an article on Mr. Freeman, who is the CEO, co-founder of Upload VR, and that talks about VR games and stuff. So, and there's been I think there's another interview that they did on someone in the game industry. It's kind of weird though, because you would think like, oh, Forbes, like that's not even a gaming
it's not
type of magazine, right? But they've been doing that for quite a few years now. So,
all right, it might be a new thing, but I was just really surprised by it because I never really heard Forbes. I kind of feel like Forbes is doing what Kotaku used to do in fighting games. Once again, this is my personal opinion, where Forbes would look for the bad stuff and then they would talk about it, and then every once in a while do like interviews for like clickbait. Like Forbes should just like make a separate division where it's like, okay, if we're going to talk about video games, we should dedicate like a group of people to talk about video games and like call it something else, but still have it be under Forbes. Because it's like, it's kind of hard because most gamers wouldn't go to Forbes anyways to look at anything game related. Like Forbes and games kind of doesn't connect if you ask most people, unless you like really dig in deep to like look for the interviews and stuff like that. But no one else has said anything. And I don't blame them after the whole Gamergate situation, with the Zoe Quinn thing and then the Arnita Sarkeesian and how pretty much every games media, and yes, even though IGN didn't write anything, they still stayed silent, and saying nothing at all is just as bad as saying something. Because if you're saying nothing, that means you're not disagreeing with other people are saying. So yeah, games media kind of did attack us gamers, and I like calling myself a gamer. Out of all the fucking labels I get called, I think that's probably one of the few I wouldn't mind being called by. So, but yeah. So I don't blame games media for being like, why are people attacking us all of a sudden? What did we do wrong? And it's like, come on, man.
Well, let me just interject if you're done with your points.
Yeah, I'm done.
Briefly. I think it's interesting because I think because of the information age and how internet is kicked up and everybody decided to get some things first based off of certain deals that they have, which is a whitelist or a blacklist, meaning like they get whitelisted for games that have an open, that play by the rules of at least doing the review properly. And then there are people who get blacklisted. And I think Kotaku is blacklisted, if we remember, by like Bethesda had blacklisted them for some shit. Like, I can't remember.
Bethesda
we covered
did
that.
buy some, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's like, it's a wild west of doing game reviews. And it's interesting because I remember when you were doing the game review for We Are Chicago, and I was asking you, like, why aren't you done? Like, why aren't you done? Why aren't you done? You're like, I'm really trying to play this game. I'm really trying to get into it, and see. We're moving so fast with trying to get things up. I think that if there's a specific set of rules where they sign like NDAs or it's a contract of game, and those might be what embargoes are, but I don't know if the embargoes are, they're not out fast enough. And this comes into the problem with software, right? So maybe, but then it's just like, what I'm trying to say is, game publishers and developers should give a game where they feel like once it goes gold or it's finished, that they give these specific people who are whitelisted as reviewers the copy of the game, which allows them to have enough time to review the game properly. Obviously, you get set within a limit in like terms of like focus testing. If you've done more than one focus test in like 6 months, and you can't participate in another, but there's ways to get around it. But just be ethical about like the time that you're going to put in, because there are people who are going to be spending their money, and people there are YouTubers now, instead of writers that are reviewing the game properly, that'll give you the opinion about the game in 4 minutes or less, rather than you reading about it in however fast that you can read yourself, which I don't think, in at least my opinion, that the millennials cannot read faster than us. In some cases they can, in some cases they can't, depending on how learned you are, I suppose. And I'm not generalizing, I'm just saying like an idea of like average of how people read fast, but that's besides the point. And my point is, if you have enough time to play the game, when it's finished, you can do a thorough review. And then that way it doesn't reflect what we didn't like and what we had time for and all this other fucking shit, because it's just not fair to the consumer. I think, and I have to step outside. I'm not a game reviewer and everything. I still feel like I am a consumer, even though I work in the industry, but there are games that if I were to not have the opinions that I have about how I approach buying games, and I was someone that does rely on people who do review them and their opinion, then I would want the most honest opinion possible before I fork up $60. And again, it comes into having disposable income, but for a lot of teenagers and younger children do not have, because their parents are forking up that money. And as you know, a few of us adults who do follow certain game reviewers' opinions of that matter. But it's a wild west now, right? Because everybody wants to, excuse me, have the review up first and before someone else. But it's just like, are you really doing that game justice and honesty? Are you giving the developers the correct feedback that they should deserve, as well as the consumers who are purchasing the game? And I just think that there just needs to be like a new set of rules between the publishers and the developers and the game reviewers to say, within that embargo, to say, look, we're giving you this. We're going to supply you with money if that's the case with some websites that do reviewers. You cannot break these rules. If not, you will be blacklisted and, you know, you're fucked like after that because you didn't play by the rules. And then that would just make it easier and more, I think, enjoyable for everybody. But it's probably not going to happen. But I mean, I'm glad the video came out, and I have friends at IGN and, you know, and everything like that, and I love them. Excuse me, but I you know, there's some things that, and I'm sure the people that work there are the people who agree with this too. I mean, even Greg and Colin talked about this when they used to work there, that they don't agree with like the percentage scores. And even other people like, well, he's not at IGN anymore. So Vincent Janito had said that when I talked to him. And, you know, it's really not fair if they don't get to play the game. I mean, I know that there's seniority and there's a veteran system, but again, like with time, like some people do take time and they have to go away and they can't talk about it. And that system does exist at IGN, and I can vindicate that. But there are other instances where they do have to get things turned around fast. And I don't think that they may be taking them as seriously or equally. Like not every game is equal. No. And that's something that I think is a big problem, is that they're not valuing games that are equal. And this will tie into segue that of a topic that we have later on. But making sure that every game gets its appropriate game time, as long as it's finished and properly done, whereas it can be thoroughly reviewed, then yeah, like you should be giving that game its due diligence of playing it from start to finish, not playing it halfway because you got tired of it and you gave it a 6 point something. You know what I mean? Like that's just unacceptable. That's just unacceptable. And if that's the case, there should be a tag team or a relay to say, look, I can't finish this. Here's what I got in the review so far. Let's have a discussion about it, see where we're at, and you go forward from there and take it so we can give the developer or the consumer the best possible review that we can. And it's, you know, I don't know. Like I really just wish it would be to stop this Wild West shit. I do feel like back in the day when there were less games, people were more honest about some, you know, most of the reviews that did come out. But that's just my opinion. And even Dunkey put Microsoft on the spotlight. He was just like, I talk shit about their game and they stopped like sending me the game. And I'm like, but he was honest about whatever he did. And I believe that Dunkey actually does play the games from start to finish, because you can see the amount of hours when he does those type of videos, like how far he gets. Like he really gets into them if he likes them. And I feel like he's equal too, because he'll play other indie games that we've never even seen or heard of that look bad. And he's just like, what is this? Why am I doing that? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, people are mad because he's honest and he's thorough. I'm sorry, but he's from Jersey and you're going to have to gain some tough skin. Pull up your fucking diapers and, you know, put some big fucking shorts on or something like that. So I'm sorry, like that's my opinion and my 2 cents, so to speak, about that.
I'm really glad Dunkey made the video too. I think it was mostly, and like I said, if you can go on to Twitter, like there's a few people from the big sites that are saying like, well, Dunkey kind of got it wrong and he kind of assumed, and it's like, well, look, the man did research. If you really paid attention to the video and what he's talking about, he did research.
He did some really good research.
Yes, he did. Like he found videos that I remember from GameScoop.
Me too.
And I didn't know that they had also reviewed Sonic 2006, and they talked shit about it. So that was surprising to me, and that was surprising that he found it. My only thing is, for those that are like quick to jump the gun and say, or at least from the big head, like the people that work in those companies and stuff like that.
Sure.
He did research, and that was the information that he was able to find. And even though it wasn't that much, from the information he was able to find, he was able to come up with this conclusion. Like, it's not his fault. I feel like more companies should talk about this shit more. Like, yeah, IGN does have like their little posts where they talk about their game stores and stuff like that. But you don't talk about how you have another person review the game. So in IGN's case, you know, Dan Stapleton will be checking the reviewer's report on certain games. So it's not just that person who reviewed the game. It's now him and Dan Stapleton that reviewed the game. Like when Vince used to work there, he also used to check people's reviews and ask them, look, I read your review, but the score doesn't reflect what you wrote. Do you want to change the review to reflect that? Or do you want to decrease the score, increase the score to match what you wrote? And that's like confusing.
That's definitely, and they were saying like, well, people need to read the review instead of looking at the score at the bottom. You could just get rid of the scores altogether.
Yes, and that is another thing. Even Eurogamer
that will just mitigate the entire thing, and that way you still write the review. And there are other gaming sites. I think we did a guess you got 10s, yo. We're not doing the numbers for the site, and we're just doing adjectives and things that describe it, and then you'll have to give your own type of what it is out of 10, and then what, and then what, like you have to read or you have to watch the video, and then you can discern what you want out of those words. And I think that would probably be the way to go. I don't see any type of rules being set by anybody, because the industry is probably too lazy.
Although Vince kind of said like a lot of people were quick to defend Dunkey because they want to see the death of like old media because new media is more honest or something. And you also have to remember too, folks, people could still get bought off on YouTube just like they could, get bought off for those big companies. So it's like you're not really sure who's really honest. The only way you can figure that out is just by sticking with the person. So stick with that company that you like. And yes, even though I'm a little bit bullying of IGN and Dunkey definitely was bullying IGN, IGN is the number one successful like company out there, man. It was the first. Like it literally came from nothing. Yeah. Like if you learn the history of IGN, it's like probably one of the most impressive things. These were different websites came together, worked together, almost went out of business, and then
they were bought by someone, and they bought someone back, and now they're owned by someone else, and it's just nuts.
And now they got it running perfectly, and now they can go from games to movies. Like the company is doing well. The company is number one. It's overseas. So yeah, even though IGN was kind of like the main target, that's what it takes to be number one, folks. If they didn't want to be number one, then they shouldn't, because that's what being number one is, man. You got to take them criticisms too. So, anyways, I'm glad Dunkey did it. I'm glad he talked about it. Sure. I just wish more of the big companies would talk about it, because right now saying nothing is basically saying Dunkey is right, and this could hurt you, if not now, then when some other shit comes down the line, because this is like the nail in the coffin, or at least like a dent in the glass, and all you need is like one more rock to be thrown, and that shit will shatter, and then people will start going into little subdivisions and following people on YouTube and respecting more people on YouTube versus, games media. And I like games media because the connections are amazing and you guys are able to do more than us, like YouTubers and stuff like that. We're only concerned about the game, and that's it. So everyone get your shit together.
Cool. So we're moving on.
Yeah.
So I believe the next topic is, what's the next topic?
Oh. Do you want to do your topic or one of mine?
Let's do mine.
Project to curate 1,000 small indie games is finally complete.
Perfect segue. So guess what? The curation of things are shitty as well in the industry, and there's an oversaturation within the PlayStation Store, the Microsoft, and the Steam Store. And this guy decided he did this before, whereas he was giving, excuse me,
it's all good.
He was giving indie games the chance to see the light of day that normally don't if they were pretty much overcrowded by other games and things like that, especially like AAA games. And so what he decided to do is a curation process to have developers send him the games that he would that they thought they were good, and that he would tweet about them, and he would do 1,000 of them. And so the ones that he felt were noteworthy of checking out, then they would get more publicity through that. And he said that he messed up because he was trying to get like more of a behind the scenes of like what inspired them and how long it take to make the game and how did they work, especially with their day jobs or whatnot. But it said it got so overwhelming that he ran out of time and energy. And so all he could do was just actually tweet about it. But the curation process is interesting because that's what we really need in this industry right now. I mean, like, I wish someone would just start a business and within, like, they just do what?
I was going to mention, I just read something today about Netflix making this program called Jump.
No, Jump is, no. Jump is by, I believe it's, let me get it correct because I have the article right here. It's a
from
style
IGN, right?
form. No, it's not Netflix. It's a business model based off of how Netflix does it called Jump. Yes. So it's play on Jump. They are, and that's not they are curating, but it's still not. There needs to be like a big curation department within Steam. I know they probably have one, but I just don't think it's good enough. I don't know what Sony's doing over there. They just seem to just be letting all the fools in, and Microsoft they just make it difficult to get it around. And I'm not even going to talk about Nintendo because they flip like pancakes over there. So I just. Excuse me. If someone could just start like a good business where they can facilitate to those 4 companies that this is what they should be doing, and these are the games that they feel like are going to be fine, and do well, then it'd be great. Like, actually, I'm excited for Jump because the way that it circulates is that if you get your game, they are going to test them to see if they go on there, but it's going to be pretty hard to pirate the games unless someone figures it out, which they probably will. But in the style of like when Netflix has new recommendations, like those will show up as games in that style. And then like, even if your game is new, it will still like recirculate because of guess what? It's not going to have more than it's not going to have a huge amount of games on the platform. I think they said it's only going to be about like 60 to 100. That's not a lot. It's a lot for you, but and the subscription is only $10 a month, which is equal to, I think, what Netflix is charging. I haven't checked because I haven't bought it in a while. But it's more. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, like $10, $15, whatever like that. It depends if you want to get like the DVD included. Otherwise, it's like $8.99 for the streaming. It's still a pretty good deal. But $10 for all those access to those games that have been curated and that you can check out, like it gives the developer a chance to be seen and to make money. So the curation system for the Twitter guy is really cool, and I hope that other people like follow suit with that, so that, and not everybody, but like the people who, again, like people's opinion that you trust, and if you want to find something fresh, because sometimes the Steam store just doesn't even have, you can't even be on that for like a day unless like it's trending of some sort. So shit is getting out of control.
Yeah, it's hard to find recommendations that match for indies.
Exactly. And if indies really want to be seen, they got to fork up the money. They got to go to the booths. They got to go to PAX Prime, PAX West, PAX East, Indiecade, PSX, Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, E3, Paris Games Week, yada, 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 yada. There's a million out there. Resid, like, I didn't even know GameScoop had a convention. But sure.
They know.
So it's getting more and more tough. And there are a lot of really bad games out there. Now, everyone has to have a chance, to shine. Don't get me wrong. But again, I think there needs to be like a finished, polished, quality game that you do before you show it to people. And that you see that is good. No, yeah, none of this like, well, I think it's good because I did this on Microsoft Paint and da-da-da. It's just like, no, I mean, like, you got to look at what other indie developers are doing at the caliber that they're doing it at and the skill level set that they're doing at, whether it be a 1-man team, a 5-man team, a 13-man-woman team, or less than 20 at most. And that's still a small team considered Blizzard, who has over like 300 employees. So, and you see the kind of polish that is. So it just depends on what tools you have and the time and the budget and all that stuff. But I just think that they should definitely have a curation of going through the entire filter process before they let these things out, whether it be early access or itch.io refinery, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's got to change sometime. I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
No, but that's good to talk about. It really does suck though, because I feel like most people use indie games as a way of trying to put something on their resume. I remember reading that once, or at least hearing about that. Like, people make games to put on their resume, and because of that, it's really gotten oversaturated. So hopefully we can figure out a process. Let's see what else. Let's go straight into top Minecraft YouTuber quits channel because he doesn't want to be a fake piece of shit. I feel like this is perfect.
You got anything to say about it? Because I got a lot to say.
I'm gonna be short and sweet. Because I only saw the first video, so I really can't input too much. But I did read the article. But I feel like you got something better to say because you did more research on that. I did more research on the Dunkey. You did more research on this guy.
Okay, so you know what the term "fake piece of shit" comes from?
No.
It comes from, you watched the first video, so you watched the kid-friendly video when he was talking about it. His name is Sky Does Minecraft, and his name is Adam. So he talked about why he was leaving the community and that he wanted to go do music. Now, all of that is true. That's basically the summation of the kid video. But if you watch the adult video, it was because it just got toxic. And the community decided to change. He wanted to he has a dark humor, right? So he wants to curse and talk shit. And then all of a sudden the community's like, oh, let's keep this, kid friendly, let's not, do this stuff like that. And also he had been playing since he was 16. And so I assume now he's in his mid 20s. So he's just bored of playing. He's just like, this isn't fun anymore. I'm not having fun. The community has changed. They want to they were acting one way and then they changed. And he's just like, I don't want to be a fake piece of shit. He's like, because he wasn't having fun and he wasn't getting to be himself. And so that's what he means. He would feel like he would be in fake if he continued. Also, on a different interview, the other shit that went down is that his girlfriend had cheated on him.
Oh, what? Why?
She was mooching off of his followers. I don't know if she had a channel or some other things like that, but he was like, man, yeah, she's so fucked up and she did this and she did that. But yeah, he was being interviewed by another guy. And so there was drama going on in his personal life as well. And so she was mooching pretty much. He's the first, they had toys in Toys R Us about this guy. That's how he has 16 million followers that he made on his own. They have toys made about him that you can go purchase in Toys R Us. That's how big he is.
He's a Toys R Us kid. Damn. Ain't that a bitch?
That's fucking nuts. And so I was dealing with that in his relationship, right? And so I guess she was stealing some followers or whatever like that, or just pretty much coattailing on that regard. And I guess if someone else if he put another streamer on, even if they had a lot of views, they would blow up and then their career would take off. And he would get $2,000 per video. So if as many videos that he put up, the money got crazy. He said there's other people fucking other people over in the community. So that's why he was just it was just the community was getting toxic. The girlfriend was doing her, shady shit. And also, he just wasn't having fun. So all of that put together, it just guided for him to quit. But what he decided to do was, and it was interesting because if you watch this interview, this guy gave him the idea, which you saw in the kid-friendly video, is that the community people who do a video, he'll show that on the stream and that'll get people a chance to watch other people play if they want to continue to do that, so that they can get a little bit of cash flow too. And I thought that was pretty nice of him, because he was just going to give it up. He thought it was funny in the interview. He's like, I'm just going to give the channel away. He's like, you can't give the channel away. You got 15 million people. He's like, I'm just going to give it away. Wouldn't it be so funny? He's like, fuck it. I don't want it. Like, I don't care. And so he's like, I'm really going to do music. So at the end of that kidney friend interview, you hear like this music go on and whatever like that. I was like, wait, does he really want to do music, or is he going to be doing something involved with music, like music videos or whatever? He's really doing music. And you know what? It's really fucking good. It's really pleasing. I only listened to one song called Paranoia, and he's talking about like what he went through, and it's very funny, and like it has lyrics in the video. He's not in the video at all. It's showing different like clips of whatever, like montages or whatever, with the lyrics like text coming over the screen differently, and you can follow, and it's a little catchy too. So I highly recommend you go listen to, what is that thing, Net Buddy or whatever he's called, Net Nobody. He's legitimate. I was like, okay, well, if you're gonna do music, let's see how good it is, and it's pretty good. So he's happy. He's doing what he wants to do. He has a child with the girl, which makes it worse. So
man, yeah. Plan B like Walgreens.
So I'm like, that's really what it's about. It's like he didn't want to be a fake piece of shit, because he literally didn't want to be a fake piece of shit, and now he left the community. And I think good for him. Like, he's figured a way out, and he's doing what he needs to do, hopefully what he loves, and he's got out that toxic situation, and we've all been there before. And when it's toxic, you really gotta like, wean yourself.
It's like toxic, like Britney Spears.
Ooh, yeah. So that's what that's about. It was I love it. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, what?
I need to watch those other shit videos.
Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. It's good. It's good entertainment. And then go check out his music. If you like it, cool. If you're not, no harm, no foul. You didn't have to pay for it. It's on YouTube.
Why the developer of Inside and Limbo formed a new indie game studio? No? You don't want to talk about that?
I really can't speak on it because I haven't had a chance to read the article, but it is going to be pretty interesting. I think that from what I recall, like of a brief synopsis, is that they just weren't agreeing on when they wanted to release the game, and they also had other disputes amongst themselves. But that was more of like, it was in terms of like marketing and some other things like here and there. But yeah, like that's just a general overview, and I would want to take more time before I speak about that, on the podcast or anything.
All right. Super Mario Odyssey doesn't have a game over screen.
So what? Get over it.
I'll talk a little bit about that. Mostly, you'll be able, if you die, you can actually buy your way back in by paying coins. It's only 10 coins, which is very easy to get. A lot of people are upset because they feel like that's kind of cheating.
If you don't get coins, then what? The game just doesn't turn on anymore?
No.
You got to buy the game all over again?
No, I think it's like then something else happens, but you'll still be able to continue playing, which is weird. So it's like there supposedly might be a backup if you don't have the 10 coins.
Whatever. Just don't play the game if you don't like it.
Yeah. But a few people were talking about, like, if you're in a boss battle and you die, will you pay 10 coins to come back in, or will it be more or less? And honestly, I thought it was pretty interesting because I didn't see a big point. But yeah, people are kind of like 50-50 about it. But it's worth talking about because Super Mario Odyssey, Mario possessing people and then having to pay his way back in. It's kind of interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, not possessing, capturing. My apologies, capturing. Mario's capturing people. Pokémon McFlurries. They have them in Japan.
These are cool.
These things look fucking terrible. I know you wanted to try one flavor. Was it the Charmander one?
No, definitely not. It's the Squirtle one. And the Squirtle one it comes with a Ramune, and if people who don't know what Ramune is, it's a Japanese pop, and it comes with a marble and a thing that you push the marble down into the top, but it doesn't go into the soda. It stays
in the middle part.
At the top part, and it just circulates around. So when you drink it, the carbonation flows, as opposed to like when you drink out of cans, like your carbonation will fill up your throat, and then that's only you can have so much unless you built up a tolerance. But this one keeps the carbonation flowing with the drink, so that you can pretty much down it and not have that carbonation tingly filling your throat. And it's brilliant. And they have so many flavors. If you have a Rocket Fizz near you or anything like that, You can buy it in person, or I'm sure Amazon has it online. You can get it like a case or whatever like that. It's called Ramune, Ramune. And apparently if you put it with the McFlurry, it makes like a Squirtle McFlurry. So I assume it's probably going to be like the blue flavor or some sort. But I'm actually going to try this. I'm not in Japan. I haven't been there. I want to go. I will go one day. But right now, while I'm in America, I'm going to pick up. Actually, there's a Rocket Fizz around the corner from here. I just have to find a McDonald's, and maybe by next time you will find out. I might tweet about it.
All right, tweet about it.
Let you know.
Funny story is, I did have a McFlurry, but I've never tried one because when I tried to put the ball in.
No, you had a Ramune, not a McFlurry. I'm sorry, Ramune.
Well, anyways, I've had that drink with the bottle, and you put the ball in. I pressed on it so hard that I actually broke the top. Like, I was like, and then I never got.
You have to do it like this.
Well, see, no one ever told me that. I went.
Yeah,
like, well, the good news is the ball went in, but it was covered in glass, and I had like little splinters on my hand. So, look, man, they said squeeze the thing, and I squeezed.
That glass bottle is really hard to break. Like, we tried to a few times and we didn't think we could break it. And we really had to, like, we threw it on the ground more than 5 times before, like, it really smashed. Like, we had to really you're telling me, oh, okay. All right. Moving on.
It was years ago. Maybe it's gotten stronger.
Nah, I had it probably before you and it was not that fragile.
It is what it is, what it is.
It is what it is, yes.
Last but not least, 15-year-old wins her first Street Fighter V tournament. And guess what? She popped off. Esports, baby. She popped off, Gamer Composer. I know you said she was just really happy, but she popped off. Remember what I said? Don't separate the leagues, folks. Let men and women compete. Because when the pop-offs happen, they're big. Especially at EVO 2017. Pop-offs are going off like crazy.
2018 when Fighter Z is there.
Ooh. Yo,
I might be socking people in the face for popping off.
He's going to be socking people in the face. I'm going to be going Super Saiyan every time I win. And if I get mad, I'm
Ultra Saiyan.
Ultra Saiyan.
Trademark from Chronicles of Gamers. You heard it here first.
But yeah, watch the video. It's quite funny. Pop-offs are good in the community. Just don't be the one. If you're getting popped off, just walk away, man. And don't pop off on me. That's all. That's it. That's it.
That's cool. So yeah.
And it's all about the hype.
Woo!
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a small break, and then we're going to come back and go into the next topic. So stay tuned.
Welcome back. We're here. And we got Indie Radar for you guys. I got some cool games that I didn't check out, but I heard about that I want to share with you guys. First game is called Arbiter. It's like a Kingdom Hearts hack and slash Dark Souls type of appearance. Deals with the powers of light and darkness, and you have to use the things between the two in order to progress through the game and do other things. And you use the light and dark to damage like certain enemies. It has strategic gameplay. It kind of reminds me of if anyone's played Castlevania Lords of Shadow, where I don't want to spoil it, but there's a certain part in the game where you do have to use. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if he's in the game, but for those of you listening, Goofy's entering the camera scene.
I'm holding Goofy in the camera.
So in Castlevania Lords of Shadow, there's a certain part of the game where you have to use 2 different powers that you have in order to beat a specific boss. And I thought that was pretty cool. And like he has a barrier and you have to switch these on at the right time, like while you're trying to get to him. It's really, 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 really fun. And so I think this game kind of reminds me of that. I haven't had a chance to play it. If I do, probably will give it a shot and whatnot, because hack and slashes are fun. And then the other one is Super Rad Raygun on Game Boy. And this is in the style of like a Mega Man where you get little certain battery powers and things like that. And it's like somewhat like an RPG in the sense where you can use those batteries to do upgrades too. And it looks really cool. And I'm a big Game Boy fan because that's what I grew up with. That was one of my first consoles that I owned, or handhelds. And so it doesn't really look like Game Boy. It just has like the colors. But it's still in like the style of Game Boy, so I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully I'll be able to check that out. It'd be even more fun if they put it on a cartridge and I could play it, and that would be really slick.
That would be.
But yeah, hopefully you guys are interested in it. We'll probably put it in the show notes so you guys will check it out and find it and look at it yourselves. And that's pretty much it for Indie Radar. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, sorry, folks. But we talked a lot about indie games, and it's all about the hype, because we were more hyped about indies.
Yeah, we were.
But at least we let you know what games you should be looking for and
Yeah.
trying. Ain't that right,
Absolutely.
Goofy?
Yep. You're right.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're going to take a small break, and when we come back, we're going to move into the next topic. So, stay tuned. Hi there, folks. Welcome to Sound Tests, where we like to talk about any video game music that we enjoyed or we liked. You know, sound tests. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
So I Gamer Compose is going to tell you about this shit, because I don't even want to talk about it.
So
This game.
So a little bit of etymology. I went to this
Yes, you.
type of comedian show called Shit Arcade, and this had just some internet celebrities and some comedians around the town or whatever from whoever, just playing like really bad games and making and talking shit about it like in front of a live audience, and it was actually pretty fun. Oh, because we do that on video anyway. And one of the games was Mary Kate and Ashley on Game Boy Color, and the game is like, but the music is really good, and like it's got like some slick beats. Like it really is good. It sounds good, and it feels good. But you know, I'm not gonna talk much about the game because, like I said, I didn't play it. But when I was watching them play it, I was like, oh man, the music's dope, and even the comedians is like, yeah, the music's pretty cool. Like they start like singing over it or rapping or whatever, and it was just like, I can't believe this is on here. Like they really had some fresh beats going on. So I highly recommend actually you guys check out the soundtrack. It's Mary Kate and Ashley on Game Boy Color. I know Efocutioner, the console pimp, does not appreciate it because he thinks it's some bullshit.
Hold up. I just said, and I appreciate the soundtrack.
Okay.
I won't lie.
You just don't appreciate the game.
Yeah, I won't lie. You actually
totally
did. You did pick a good soundtrack. Out of
we know how you feel, so we're gonna let it die there. But you have a true story to tell, don't you?
Yeah, so we're gonna go straight into true story. True story. You already know what the fuck I say. It's been 49 episodes. So if you don't know what the fuck I say for true story by now, you know what the fuck true story.
Bombs away.
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, because I know D23 is this weekend, I actually found something interesting that happened to me when I was playing. So I just got done beating Tarzan's World, and of course I had to head back to, Traverse Town. So I went to, Alice in Wonderland's little place, their little world. And I went there and I found I was basically mushroom hunting, trying to get my items for the legendary weapon in Kingdom Hearts. And as soon as I got done doing that, I was trying to head back, and I went into the potion room and stuff like that. And what was weird is there's these Heartless that just popped up in a circle. And I was like, that's weird, because usually I would see the flying Heartless that shoot fireballs at us. So I was like, okay, this should be an easy kill. So, I kill the people in the circle, run around, start collecting the money. And then, as I just got done killing them, another one appeared in the circle where we were. They spawned in a circle around us. So then I was like, okay, this is weird. So then, we're killing them again pretty easy. I'm running around trying to collect the money because money is king at the early stages. And again, they popped up in another circle. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never had this happen before. They just appeared in the circle again. And it was in a different area. Usually when you fight in different areas, other Heartlesses spawned in, but they never did that. We just faced the same 8 Heartless that spawned in the circle. So then once again, we took them out. But then what was interesting is these big ass fucking Heartless just appeared out of nowhere. They were ridiculously huge. They were taller than fucking Sora shit. They were almost as tall as the fucking chair. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was surprised. I actually got startled, and I was like, okay, there's only 8 of them. We could take them out, right? And then I'm thinking all right, these are baby Heartlesses. Even if they are huge, they can't. And they were hitting dump trucks at the beginning. I was like, what the fuck? Yo, they killed Donald in like 2 hits, which is, not that impressive because Donald's weak as hell, but they were giving Goofy some trouble. I was like, yo, Goofy's taking damage? What the fuck? I'm taking damage. What the fuck? So I was just a little startled and shocked, and then like when you killed them, they didn't disappear the normal way. You didn't collect any items. They just like faded away. And then like when I beat the last one, I got like a type bonus and shit. And it was just so fucking surprising. I was like, I've never had that happen. I have played this game on PS2, and I played the Final Mix version on PS2. I didn't play the PS3 version, of course, but I played the Final Mix version on PS2, which is the same fucking game that's out now, but it doesn't look as pretty. And I've never had like Heartlesses spawned in the circle each time you killed it. And then you got like these huge fucking like baby Heartlesses attacking me and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was like,
did you look on the forums or online to see if anybody?
I've been trying to. So far, I haven't really found anything. But maybe it's because I'm wording it wrong in Google. Because it's like I don't know how to word it. Because they keep telling me like Neo Shadow. But I was just really surprised. I was like, I've never had that happen to me at all, and I was not expecting that. True story.
True story.
That actually scared me a bit when I saw those things. Like I actually was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, this is new. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like, is this on the PS3 version? Like, man. Like, they just kept spawning in a circle. But yeah, that's it, man. True story. So you think we should just wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to skip the commercial this time, folks, because we kind of gave like a quick commercial after Indie Radar was pretty short. So I apologize for that. That was too short. Too short for Indie Radar. We didn't give Indie Radar the justice it deserved. My bad. I've been playing some Tale of Ibn Batuta.
We could have had nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I could have talked about Ibn Batuta, but I'm gonna wait until I finish that game and reflect on it.
I can't wait.
Yeah. But yeah, of course you can follow us. Oh wait, I didn't do it right. So of course you already know what that time it is. It's that time where we say goodbye. But before we leave, you know what time it is, folks. It's time for Selfless Plugins. Go.
You know where to find me. Where I am always present at Chase Bethia on Twitter. Tweet at me if you see anything cool. I do What the Fuck Fridays. I did one earlier this week. It was kind of weird. But there's a few more coming. What else? There's some games I'm working on. There's a new one in the style of like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing mixed with Crusader Ascenti on Sega Genesis, which is $244 because it was by Atlas and it's super rare. Okay, I might have to go shopping this weekend. I am right around the corner from my gold mine type of thrift store shopping. Will not release the location, but it's like nothing but thrift stores down the street. You will be broke. You will spend $300. We're
gonna have to pray for.
So I'm gonna have to go look for that.
He's gonna be broke.
But hey, the contest. You guys didn't participate. Shame on you.
Yeah.
We're giving away free stuff. Like it, love it, do it. We want to give it away. It's free. It's free. You could re-gift it if you wanted to. We don't care. We just want to help support you. We want to be a part of the community. You know, we want to hear from you. So please, we're going to do another one soon.
And it's actually a pretty good game. At this point, I was thinking about fucking taking the code, but I figured you guys might want it.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm not even a PC person.
Tweet at us at what is it, COG Podcast on Twitter?
Yeah.
And the Chronicles of Gamers Podcast at Gmail. Email us .com. At Gmail, .com by now. Like you've been using the internet since you were in the womb.
Oh man, you gotta add the www.
Oh god. And we're on Facebook and all that good stuff. And shout out to Lord Brioche. Send her your well wishes. She's doing good, but she's fighting the bread. So the bread came over this time.
Yeah. So it was basically the revenge of the bread.
It was like a Heartless situation that you had. All these little breads came and then it took over. So she's been overwhelmed. We're sending her reinforcements as we speak. So shout out to Lord Brioche. We love you. We miss you.
I'm gonna sing.
But she will return triumphantly.
She'll be back now. We're gonna give her that Phoenix down. She'll be back.
Yeah. Phoenix down.
Phoenix down. Of course, you already know. Follow us on Facebook, Chronicles of Gamers. Twitter,
Like us on Facebook.
Chronicles
Follow us on
Gamers.
Twitter.
YouTube, Chronicles Gamers.
Mm.
VidMe, The Chronicles Games.
Mm.
Chronicles Games. Chronicles Games. Chronicles of motherfucking Gamers.
F-bombs away!
It's from the contest, yes. I think that's the first F-bomb of the episode, so. Knock on wood. I think that was the first F-bomb, so. But anyways, folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching.
Episode.
What's up?
It wasn't that the first of this episode. It wasn't.
It wasn't?
No.
When did I say an F-bomb?
Earlier. But I said some too.
Man, fuck. Oops, I mean. All right,
we out of here.
Let's get the heck up out of here.
Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here. So, of course, stay lit.
Skake 'em.